Now, the topic of discussion from yesterday's game was just the controversial call that won the Kansas City Chiefs the game yesterday. Late in the fourth quarter, the Raiders are essentially pretty close to field goal range. They're at the 32-yard line. From there, that would have been approximately 50-yard field goal. But one thing to take into consideration was the Raiders kicker, Daniel Carlson, had missed 3 field goals on the night. But the film has came out, and I wanted to break down on what I saw here. So we obviously all know the outcome of the game. Aiden O'Connell, the Raiders snapped the ball. Aiden O'Connell wasn't set, wasn't ready for it. The Raiders essentially fumbled the football. And the Chiefs ultimately recovered on that. And after a lot of discussion, they let the Kansas City Chiefs decline the penalty. And they ultimately won the football game like that. But looking back at this, I mean, we can see a couple different things. So first, top of the screen, Jakobi Meyers. This is the player that the flag is on. You can see even the tight end here. I believe that's Michael Mayer. I can't really tell from this angle, but you can see he's clearly pointing at him. It even looks like he's also might be a little bit in front of the line of scrimmage, but you can see he's still moving. He's telling him to get back. And then obviously Jackson Powers-Johnson snaps the football. The Raiders cough it up. But one thing to note is look at the referee on the top of the screen right by Jakobi Meyers. You can see he throws the flag. And one thing too, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell from this angle, but look at him run and look at his left arm right there. To me, that definitely looks like he blew the whistle. And one thing to take into consideration was Antonio Pierce said that they heard a whistle on the sideline. And me personally, I mean, yesterday in the game, I thought I heard one too, but I wasn't 100% sure about that. But just looking at this, I mean, I'm trying to see if I can get a good angle. Unfortunately, right there, that's when it cuts off. But we can just see a little bit closer. His left arm goes up towards his mouth. I mean, what else would he been doing right there? He definitely blew the whistle right there. And then obviously the ball's coughed up. And then lastly here too, let's take a look. Now unfortunately this NFL logo is in the way, but you can see, look at his arms. He's doing that's a clear indication of false start, and false start should be a dead ball foul. But even then, even if you say that it should have been an illegal shift and that the play should have continued, okay, I can understand that. But one thing to take into consideration is the fact that if the referee blew the whistle, then unfortunately, I mean, all that stuff doesn't really matter. I mean, how many times have we watched football games where a player fumbles the football, but unfortunately because the ref blew the play dead, it didn't count even though it should have counted? I mean, it's one of those things that I think is very frustrating about the NFL. It's a really dumb rule, but it's just very interesting to see how in this scenario they did not apply that. Ultimately, you can see that he blew his whistle and he indicated a false start. Now, obviously after that, the refs gathered together for a while and they reverted that. I don't know, that's just a very fishy call in my opinion. And that's just very convenient that that happens to the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that's just been notorious for controversial calls by the referees going to their side. And look, typically I don't like doing this type of videos. I don't like to be the guy to complain and whine about the NFL refs. Look, ultimately, man, I'm a Raiders fan. I don't really care if we lost this game. At the end of the day, I still think we need to secure a top 2 pick. So it's not the end of the world for me, but you know, it's just still something that is very annoying as an NFL fan. I think just fans in general are tired of seeing games being decided by NFL officiating. And to me, that's the most confusing part about this whole thing is I've never seen a situation where if a play is blown dead that they reverse that, and you know, for whatever reason in this situation they decided to do that. So very strange. Now obviously we can also put a lot of blame on the Raiders on how they handled the situation, because like I said, I mean, you're right around 50-yard field goal range. You could argue that you should just trust your kicker. Maybe you just spike it, or maybe you just kick the field goal right then and there. Now I can understand though, I mean, Patrick Mahomes in the past with 13 seconds left, he's been able to get the Chiefs into field goal range. But our head coach Antonio Pierce came out and stated that they wanted to run one more play just to simply throw the ball out of bounds to try to kill some clock off. Now, I don't know if I really believe that, and even if that's true, I mean, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, there's only 13 seconds left. I mean, how much time are you realistically gonna run off? Maybe 2-3 seconds. You're in one of the loudest stadiums in the National Football League, so it definitely backfired on him. And lastly, one thing I gotta clarify is yesterday I had blamed Dylan Parham for this debacle, for this mistake, because I saw Dylan Parham, you know, he tapped the center, indicating for him to snap the football. But, you know, I gotta apologize for that. Dylan Parham did his job. Jackson Powers-Johnson did his job as well. Really what happened here was Aiden O'Connell, we can see his hands right here. He's clapping, and that indicates that he wants the football to be snapped. But the thing was, Aiden O'Connell was not concentrated on the snap. He was looking towards the sideline, very likely looking towards Jakobi Meyers, and seeing that he was not fully set. His eyes weren't on the football, and the Raiders ultimately end up coughing up the football. But ultimately, I think the biggest controversy on this play is the fact that you can see the referee did blow his whistle. He initially called it a false start, and then after further discussion, they reversed the call. They changed it to an illegal shift, which allowed the Chiefs to decline the penalty. So definitely a very controversial call, and like I've said, I don't really remember any time in the past where they reversed a situation where the referee blows the play dead, and I think that's what we have in this scenario. And look, all I gotta say though is if this were reversed, if the Chiefs were hit with this type of penalty, with this type of situation where they lost the football game due to something like this, I do not think Kansas City Chiefs fans, I do not think Patrick Mahomes, their organization would be very happy about that either. But ultimately, I think it just boils down to NFL fans are super frustrated that time in and time out, NFL games, close, good games, exciting games, the outcomes of the games are coming down to officiating, and that's the most frustrating part about this whole situation. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Did the referees get it right, or did the Raiders get screwed in this situation? Let me know in the comment section down below. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that's all for you guys in today's video. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.